Hoje, hellos.
Hello.
Hoje, hello. Hellos. Hellos.
Hello.
Ladies and gentlemen and worms, all 8 million of you. Oh, around the world and around the globe, you know. I appreciate you. One more just for good luck. For strong portents, powerfully good, benevolent omens. What up, Twitch.tv? Oh, that felt good. That felt good. Like old times. We back. See? Oh, the hell was Tucker? Wait.
Oh, yeah, hello.
Oh, the hell was a small child.
Good to see you. Do I still have to write that paper?
Do I still have to wipe that paper?
Hello.
It is his hands and that wrench. Look at him just. What's he even working on?
Going to graduate on time.
Boy, girl. This is almost as sick as the American healthcare system. All right, so we're back. Every night we've gone a little earlier. The goal is still to beat this in a weekend. It's Friday night. It's 5:23. It's about a little past 11:30. As in 11:57. We got a mission. Tucker got the mission. You guys saw it late last night as we ended. Is there an XP bar? There has to be, right? Somewhere?
I don't. Well, it
Yes.
happens every time you end in combat encounter.
Press back button and look at the top
Yeah.
left. You just
I'm
don't.
halfway there.
Yeah, you just don't see it. All right, so Tucker chose our next mission. I think we're gonna run through 2 main story missions real quick. Then we'll go back to side quests, then back to main story missions. Like to make some. I think we're gonna try to make a pretty deep cut into the main story tonight, though. So we need to deliver the watch to Dr. Hunt's mother's grave. Now, if we find collectibles while we out, we find collectibles. But I've made the executive decision that we're not going to go out of our way, like Generation 0 to 100% the game. We're really just, hey, let's beat the game this weekend. Now, I would like to do as many of the side quests as possible, though. I will say that. That's definitely a goal. Because I just, from what I understand, there's not that much content here. So this shouldn't be
A long one.
right. No, this will be done this weekend, one way or another. If come Sunday we're not done, we'll just do the main story and be done with it. That's what I'm saying. So tomorrow's main goal is absolutely. There's just a few side things I have to do, but this is not. Let me up the brightness in the game here, if that's even a thing we can do. Video. Wow, you cannot adjust the brightness. Sorry guys, I've been adjusting it on my side as much as possible. I don't know why it's so damn dark in the Mage Well. It's not near as dark here. You see how you guys can see in that shed from here? That's about what it is for me. But at the moment I get in the shed on the Mage Well, that is just black. That's probably what they mean it to be. I'll try to use the flashlight as much as possible, and I apologize if it's just total blackness sometimes. Like that.
Does the flashlight illuminate it much?
Yeah, definitely. It's not like it's broken. It's just a whole lot darker. It's because the Mage Well gets like the true resolution. So I think that they wanted like true darks like State of Decay. I will say the texture pop in is still terrible in this game. Okay, we are going to the United Church of Christ Cemetery. Now we got a little bit more knowledge yesterday. And that knowledge was I watched the head of Xbox, Phil Spencer, do an interview on like an Xbox podcast that must be pretty popular, and he was super apologetic about this game. It was weird. Some Xbox fans were saying he does it all the time, an apology tour, and we talked at the beginning of this Let's Play, and we'll keep mentioning it, that this was Xbox's big exclusive this year. He made some interesting points. I'll start with him apologizing, though. He was like saying that they do internal reviews on these games, and they had the game. He actually admitted it. He said they had it more at like a 60, and he did not think it was going to be this low. Like, he knew there were issues like the 60 FPS thing that they had planned to resolve, but he did not expect it to review this badly. And he talked about how, like, you know, he thinks that Starfield won't have these issues because Starfield, they've been on top of it. They've given them a lot of help from the beginning. So he's just super apologetic, and he just talked like it was a really bad week. And because it was a bad week for Xbox, because they also had the Activision Blizzard merger blocked by the UK government. I don't know what they do next with that. I don't agree with it, but there's nothing we can do about that. Yes, go ahead. We're going over there.
Skipping ahead.
That's where the marker is.
All right. Checking this really quick. Guy's mobility is insane. The interesting thing he talked about, which Tucker and I were talking about as well last night, was he was saying, like, even if Starfield comes out and it's like an 11 out of 10, it won't change the console war. They're in third place, and PlayStation is so well established, and Nintendo is so well established that there's so much fidelity between like generations now. How like if you had Fortnite on the Xbox One, you took it right to the Series X and PS5, the PS4 to PS5, you know, same thing. And people play these like live service generational games. And so he's saying that in his opinion, 90% of people are already like, they're on the system that they want. They're already on the system of their choice. And it's very difficult to move the needle these days. So you have to set yourself apart, and the way that Xbox wants to set itself apart is not stopping making the Xbox console, because he's like, that has to be a part of the Xbox, but like focusing harder on the PC, focusing harder on mobile. I don't know if I love that. I mean, I get it. It does help them, I think, but I am still of the opinion. He was saying that he does not think making good games, making amazing games would change the console war any at this point. I think he was in a really bad mood, but I also don't agree with him. I don't think that they know yet, because he was saying it doesn't move consoles because everybody, like I was saying, he says they're already like in their ecosystem. So they're already either a part of PlayStation or Nintendo or Xbox, and you can't like...
We got him, Bribon.
That assumes a lot, and I still think you go to the original Xbox, Halo 2 sold 15 million units, 15 million copies. Well, the Xbox sold 24. So almost everyone who had an original Xbox had Halo 2. And why? Because everyone wanted to, large safe in here, Tucker. Everyone wanted to play Halo 2, man, especially on Xbox Live. Like, they did have a killer app. I think ooh, there was a really good purple shotgun in here for me. So killer apps still matter. What does Tucker talk about with PlayStation? Spider-Man, God of War, especially God of War. Yeah, okay, you got the Fortnite crowd, and they probably don't matter, but there's still the gamer crowd, and they should have learned in the post-Wii generation, post-Kinect screw-up, that having good games is actually what matters. Xbox 360, what did it have? It had Fable, it had Halo, it had Gears. So this Redfall, it is mutually exclusive to the conversation about why is Xbox, even though the Series X is sold really well, but it's slowing way down. And of course, it's way behind the PS5. And the Switch, there's gonna be a Switch 2 very soon. That's pretty clear. Whatever it's gonna be. Nintendo always changes it up. Anyway, I gotta say, I really like Phil Spencer, and people were calling for his head this weekend. That's a total mistake. But I don't agree with him on this one. I don't agree with him because you can't give that answer till you start producing good exclusives on the Xbox, or really good games that are on the Xbox and PC, because PC, Xbox is the same thing. They talked about Buy Once, Play Anywhere. They never mentioned it again. I love Buy Once, Play Anywhere, and State of Decay is the only game that I know that they actually did something with that. I think that's actually an amazing system, and that would help the Xbox, but that doesn't move consoles at the end of the day, does it? So to sum that all up, Xbox is aware that Redfall is bad. Arkane has said that they're going to be more dedicated to Redfall than any other game they've ever made. I think give it 2 years. There's a lot of people saying this game has no potential, no hope whatsoever. I don't agree with that, but I think it's going to take a hell of a lot of work. Tucker, what are your thoughts?
A new one.
Definitely seems like there's something here that can definitely be turned into something that can turn out to be a pretty solid game, in my opinion. A lot of people just aren't giving it a chance. It was bad at first, and then people are just not willing to forgive it. They're just hoping that games are good from the very start and that they stay good. Sometimes you just need to stay in there and just hope for the best. Even though it's been on multiple delays, and I can understand why people don't want to wait anymore.
So you think this game should have been delayed?
Yeah. Well, I don't think it should have been delayed. I just think people should hang in there.
I think it should have gotten a beta, an alpha and a beta, and not charge 70 people from the beginning. So I'm saying I half agree with you. I see why people are sick of having games come out at full price and they're not complete. Because Xbox does, like Ubisoft, have a really good history and a really strong record of making games really good in the long run. State of Decay 2, I talk about it a lot. It sucked at launch. It really did. Okay, it was super buggy. It was really incomplete. It lacked content. It was hollow. It was still State of Decay, but man, it really wasn't the game it is today. Like, it is truly State of Decay 2 these days, and it's great. Love it. Look at Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves had a super rough launch, super rough, and yet it's one of the most played games on Steam, one of the most played games on Xbox. It has a super loyal community and still attracts new people. Grounded had a good release and has another game that has a big community behind it. Minecraft, not, you know, an exclusive or anything, but Microsoft owns Minecraft, and it makes them over $1 billion a year. Again, you know, full disclosure, I'm actually a Microsoft shareholder, as in I own, like, you know, a share. But still, I buy it every month, and I am a shareholder. Xbox is part of Microsoft's, you know, earnings. They do make a profit on this, so I don't think they're going to give up on it. And I do think that they mostly do it to be a thorn in the side of Microsoft. But I still miss that old Microsoft that wanted to be more than just a thorn in the side of Sony. They really seem to want to be a badass gaming company. That's what the original Xbox is to me. Every time I turn that system on, it seems like every Let's Play this last year, that's what I talk about. Every time I turn that system on, I think, yeah, that's a badass system. And the Series X is like that because it's the most powerful console this generation. And Tucker and I talked about this at the beginning of this Let's Play. Like, it should, like, Roller Coaster Tycoon was programmed in freaking machine code. It should absolutely be one of the Microsoft Xbox's things that, okay, we don't have the, you know, the exclusives that Sony does or whatever, but our games run the best. This system is the most optimized. They own DirectX. They make Windows. There's no reason why, with their history and their technology and their portfolio, that the game shouldn't run the best on this system.
I don't know why they need this game to run at 30.
Well, it's advertised on the box is running at 60, and they have to put a sticker on the box. So they plan on getting it to 60. But one of the things we've talked about, Tucker, and we're both, you know, aware of, is it's not a stable 30.
So,
right?
Yeah, it constantly jumps down.
Yeah, you get in combat, and it cannot hold a frame rate. But that's just the beginning of this game's problems. It's running 30 barely, and look at the texture pop in. Look how milky that is. It looks better actually on the Magewell than on my screen right now. It is so milky on my screen. You see the Truth God thing?
Yeah.
That looks like honest to God Nintendo 64 level texture detail. Because it's not drawn in yet. If we sit here and wait for the next 25 minutes, it might pop in eventually. Now, to be fair, the loading screens are short, but... So, they're going to get it to 60, but man, they got a lot of dark magic and blood they've got to sacrifice to get this to do it. Because something about this game, there's a lot of code running. There's a lot of bloat. What's the size of the game? That'll tell you a lot. I can say this because I have programmed games myself. It's 100 gigs. It's fucking huge, okay? This game is not that big. It's an open world game, but the map is not very big. We could probably run across it in what? 15 minutes or less?
Yeah.
We're basically already on the other side of it. So Tucker, let's run to Reverend Ava's apartment. We'll kill two birds with one stone. This will both be a mission and okay, it's 14 minutes 52 seconds. Avoid combat completely. Don't teleport. You and me are just going to run across the map, okay?
Okay.
15 minutes exactly we started. I'm giving it a little bit of a head start. Your character is also really fast. Now, besides the fact that the code's obviously not optimized, the AI is brain dead. Tucker,
Very much.
tell us about the AI in this game.
AI, you've seen it. If you watch Charlie's videos about it, you can see just how bad the AI is, because he was literally behind a vampire and he was saying dialogue like, "I know you're around somewhere, you
Right.
blood bag."
Yeah. And, well, what did we do yesterday? We were playing merry-go-round with one of the enemy NPCs, and how did she die, Tucker?
She tried to throw a vampire blood grenade and she ended up killing herself.
She killed herself. She couldn't find us, then she'd find us, then she'd miss all her shots, then we'd jump around the window, she'd eventually open the door, which, hey, let's be honest, freaking Oblivion, even, I think, no, Morrowind didn't have it. Oblivion did. Characters would follow you into buildings. So they can just barely do it in this game. And she eventually got around to us and got to the point where she decided to throw a grenade. Subplot, also, like, almost none of these houses are explorable. So take that map size and shrink it even further, because you cannot actually go in to most houses. Very few. I'd say 1 in 10. Anyway, she kills herself with a freaking blood grenade.
And then most of those houses are locked.
Locked, right. And there's not actually even that much to, like, get at. Whereas a game like Bethesda's with the Elder Scrolls, I mean, there's full novels, there's scrolls, there's lore everywhere, there's collectibles. There's not so much collectibles because that's not really a thing, but there's just loot everywhere. Look, we just ran up to that girl. She didn't know we were here. Look, we were on top of that guy. Tucker blasted the shit out of him. So, yeah, there's going to be super edits out the wazoo. I told Tucker one of the things they discovered with Aliens Colonial Marines, which had obviously a really bad launch, is that an equals was a not equals on some of their code, and that actually broke their AI. Now, that game had a lot of problems besides that, but that's a true story, and maybe so. You're going to have Microsoft's money, okay? And Microsoft has money. And you're going to have, you know, God willing, the world doesn't blow up, time. But I guess that continues to bring up the idea of the patience. Is there... All right, it is 17 minutes, 46 seconds, and I gave it a head start. You can run across the entire map from left to up and down, which is the longest part of the map, in less than 2.5 minutes. Now, I've heard that there's some more territory besides this island. I don't know, but I guess there is some more to the map, but I'm sure this is the majority. 2.5 minutes. Look, these guys don't even know we're here. And by the way, just like Halo, if you hit people in the back, you insta-kill them. So look, I can just sneak behind all these enemies. I even got to sneak. You move faster than all the NPCs. Watch, Tucker. Circle him. Just circle him. And then hit him in the back.
E-day.
You don't have to fire a shot. This game reminds me constantly of Brink. But I'm going to be honest, and it's going to come across as really harsh, because I pre-ordered Brink. Thank God for Game Pass, because that's why, as far as I'm concerned with Microsoft, this doesn't spoil anything for me. It's a bad look. It sucks. You know, I feel bad for him. Will you send us a teleport out to that safe house, please?
Okay.
Hopefully it works.
I can't throw it out there.
Of course not. Oh, here we go. Now you can teleport, I think, from here. Brink was better at launch. And yeah, that sounds rough, because I know that Brink is infamous for being bad.
I set it up.
I saw that, thank you. You could not just sneak behind it. You could not just run behind enemies in the middle of combat and Brink and punch them in the back and win. Here's a vampire. Now, vampires are meant to be the hardest enemy in the game. And we're playing on the hardest difficulty.
Aside from Eclipse.
Yes, aside from Eclipse. I circled her and I punched her. That's all I did. And if you really want to get action-packed, like you want to do some shotgun sliding and stuff, you see this? we're gonna keep playing this game, and I don't want to be a total hater. What I'm trying to show you right now is that the game has a long way to go. This is where a beta comes in. This is where an alpha test even comes in. Dildo, do your thing. So, first things first, they've got to somehow get the game to 60. And at 100 gigs for how small the game actually is, boy.
They had to have so much junk code.
Yes, exactly. There's bloat in this shit, no doubt.
They could see. I bet they could cut this down to like 25 gigs or something.
Yeah, I mean, I know 4K textures are pretty memory intensive, but for sure. Because you still have to take either or, right? You can only still run, you can either run the game at 60 or you can run the game at 4K.
Yeah.
This is saying you can run it at 1080 30, so it's like you're back to the 360. Okay, besides that, so first things first, you got to get it optimized, and that is going to be probably a year of work, if we're being completely honest. A year of work with good people behind it. Okay, and I still think this game's salvageable, but I'm saying you're looking at a year, I think, because it's going to be labor intensive. It's going to be going through this game pixel by pixel to get it optimized. The next thing is AI. You got to get the AI sorted, because the AI is brain dead and the combat is bad as a result. We should not be able, Tucker and I, to just run behind enemies, punch them in the back. Now, if the fight, blood thing here, Tuck.
Where are you?
Oh,
I see you.
Look, I can't pick it up. Can you?
Nope.
Oh, all right.
Oh, you have to punch it.
Oh, really? Oh, cool. Nice. All right. Well, all right. They shouldn't have got that. They get this then. Now, there are things in this game's favor. I'll say one, then you say one, Tucker. I like the open world.
I like the story.
Tucker likes the story. There's things salvageable here. I like the looting.
I like the big variety of guns.
So, cool world, big variety of guns, like Tucker said. These are things you build upon. Now, normally when a game comes out and it's solid, the first thing we all think about is, hey, I can't wait for them to add more of that stuff that we like. In this case, oh, here's a thingy, collectible. We can't get to that point until, oh, by the way, these grave locks, there's no indication of how much progress you've made. And there's no indicator of where you've looked and where you haven't looked. So it's gonna be rough and sucks, because you get that 10% passive ultimate regen. But the problem is we don't even have to care about, like, oh, we're gonna get some more power. We could use that because this game's so difficult.
Because it's so easy, you don't have to use your power-ups in firefights.
Right. Oh, there's a gun over here. So yeah, they can't even start to add content or even think about that until they get those first two things done. Which brings me to the third point, which is enemy variety.
There is like 2 enemies you can encounter so far.
Yeah. Okay, you fix the AI, but then you got to start to think about, man, where's the diversity of enemies? Because even in a zombie game like State of Decay, where you're mostly just fighting zombies, you got normal zombies, you got sprinters, you got blood plague zombies, then you got the whole variety, the retina, what's the word? It sounds like retinue, whatever. Itinerary, I'll say, but it's a word. Whatever, the itinerary of freaks. You got the jug, regular, and blood plague. You got the bloater, regular, etc. Just those enemy types alone keep it fresh. Back for Blood, you have tons of different enemy types. Left 4 Dead, tons of different enemy types. It's a vampire game. You could have werewolves. You could have all kinds of monsters. You could make it interesting. And I'm going to say, if vampires are supposed to be the main threat, this is a vampire world, which is interesting. It does need to separate itself more from being like a zombie apocalypse thing. But why is it not like Tucker talked about this? Why is it not more like Dying Light, right? Like, why are the vampires out during the day, for one? And two, isn't it intense, Tucker, in Dying Light when you're running from the volatiles at night?
Yeah. They should make the vampires like that.
Will you teleport us up on that bridge?
Up there?
Yeah, if you can. Oh. Oh. All right. Did we do the mission or something? It looks like maybe... Wait. We went all the way to that stupid grave thing. But we didn't do the mission? We don't even need to fast travel. Just start running. Okay, 25 minutes, 33 seconds. Let's see how fast we can get across the map again, just to reiterate the point. So you need more enemy types. You got to fix the AI, and then it's like, okay, what can you fight? And why are vampires not threatening? This is an issue. There's a vampire down here, speaking of. Look at this. He still doesn't know where I am. Dildo's shooting him.
Simple as that.
Simple as that. Oh, there's a grave log here.
I'll never get the footage I'll need.
This rate, I'll never get the footage I'll need.
Oh, never. Yeah, they need... Vampires have to be legit, is what I'm trying to get at in a long-winded, searching for words kind of way. Volatiles and Dying Light are truly scary. And yeah, you get better, but they never stop being tough, and they never stop being scary. Vampires are these demigod eternals. Why are they so bland?
They die so easily. They should be on like short supply, won't they?
Yeah, they should be everywhere at night to the point where it's like 30 days a night. There's so many good vampire works in fiction and movies and all across all forms of fiction.
Oh,
You
there's
got
one.
Oh, yep. You got so much to play with, and this is what you get. Okay, they need to be staked. That's fine. And aren't the vampires afraid of, like, they're afraid of wood coffins because stakes are made out of coffins. That's fun. There's potential in that, but otherwise, like, this is okay. They run. Their buddies can't run, but they can run, and they teleport, but they tend to teleport haphazardly. They're just utterly uninspired, is the truth of the matter. If vampires are going to be your thing, then you got to make them your thing. And right now, they're just, man, they're just not special in any way.
They're just stronger. They're just stronger cultists.
Cultists without guns.
Yeah.
Now, I think there's going to be some different vampires later. But boy, they'd have to be really significantly cool. The only time the vampire was cool so far is that first vampire you fight. Where it's like, oh yeah, that's kind of different. And then it becomes like, oh, they just sort of teleport.
Yeah, like that first one felt special because it made you think that they were going to be like mini bosses that you'd had to fight.
Uh-huh. I don't know what all these little journals are supposed to do. We're obviously not reading them because I just don't find myself caring much. Now, I started this Let's Play and I said we wanted to be the contrarians. We wanted to be the people who defended this and said, look, it can't be as bad as everyone's saying. And as much as I want to say, oh, it's one of these. There we go. See, this is a little bit more different. These guys are different, but I don't love the fight.
I don't like the mechanics with this one.
Yeah, what makes you not like the mechanics of this one?
I feel like it's kind of annoying to try and search for them. I think it might be better.
They need to be lit up, right?
Yeah. There needs to be like some small figure that you can see through the darkness, not just black.
Right. Or an ability, something, not just, oh, it's a shroud. This map still looks good, but I mean, that looks awful. That texture that hasn't popped in. 76 did it better. It's a bigger map. It looks better. The dynamic weather's impressive. 76 had a really bad launch, but
It's not much better. At least that's what people say.
Oh, it's better than this. It was better than this. I mean, I'm trying not to be too much of a hater, but we're on day 3 of this. We've been reading quite, a little bit, and we've been watching a lot on how people think about this game and what the general complaints are. And hey, there might only be a few of you watching us, but all of those things appear to be true.
Definitely messed up this one. I don't know
not a bad game. Well, no, it's a bad game, but is it unsalvageable? That's what a lot of people are saying, and I think that still, for me at least, remains to be seen. You want to teleport us in there, Tuck?
Teleport us on what? The house?
Yeah. How about for you, Tucker? Is it unsalvageable?
I don't think it's unsalvageable. It definitely has a chance. Like
Not
70.
the house in front of us, West 270.
Oh. Like 76, people were saying how that game is just gonna entirely die out and it's done for.
Yeah,
And
but
they
it's
killed the
actually
series.
had kind of a comeback, hasn't it?
Yeah. Right here, there's a window we can go through.
I couldn't get in there, could you?
No, I cannot.
Apparently the curtains are just too strong.
Mm-hmm.
You know there's an easy way in this house somewhere.
To the door right here.
It's barricaded. Oh, it's the back door. What do you know?
Yay!
This time it's us. I ran into a wood nymph yesterday.
Oh.
I
Oh,
had
wow.
to put it down with a fire spell. Just walk into it and see what it does.
Oh, okay.
Watch out, I'm gonna shoot that gas. Get out of the gas.
No big deal.
Yeah.
Focus.
Dude, my ult is a bitch to get.
What
You
is
have
it?
to go-
Is it that heal?
Have to stake vampires, and it gives you very little. I totally should not have lit that gas on fire.
What the heck? I'm standing on a table. Standing on the table and I still took damage from it.
This shit's not going out, is it? Okay, I made a terrible mistake. This one's on me.
It's still kind of weird though that they have fires that last forever.
Hold still.
Yes. Big launcher ammo. Oh god.
Turn this switch.
Going up. Wait. Oh, it's just an optical illusion. There's no actual fire up here.
The heck is this? Oh, vampire survival tips. It's Kovac.
Kovacs rules.
Kovac's rules.
It is Kovac. Holy crap.
He had a tape recorder and everything in here. We had
Yeah,
cameras.
It's like a studio.
More
Yeah.
freaks coming in.
Oh, we somehow set off that car alarm. Oh, there's the vampires. Hey, let's sit up here and crouch Tucker and see how long it takes them to find us. Here, I'll set Dildo out just to help him out. Here's Dildo.
Dildo, go get him.
You guys know we're in the house. But the Dildo not get. Oh, here's the thing, Tucker. Your turn.
Yay!
Don't worry, they won't find us. I'm looking right at one of them, and they don't have any idea.
Show yourself.
I wish you could take off. That's another thing, dude. There's a lot of quality of life stuff, like being able to mass salvage. It just is not in this game.
To be honest, for right now, it isn't too much of a problem if you just get on top of it quick, but it definitely would help if there was... Oh, truck, your turn.
I'm gonna start a new episode.